Good morning. My name is Latoya, and I wanted to talk about my journey with multiple sclerosis. I wanted to do a quick video to explain kind of how I felt and what it was like, and hopefully it'll be a blessing to someone else. So, here goes. It started about 4 years ago. I woke up one morning and noticed a weird facial twitching on the left side, actually the right side of my face. And this twitching lasted a couple of days, so I finally went to my primary doctor and said, look, I've been having this twitching. What the heck? So he says, you might have something viral going on, so I'm going to put you on some antiviral meds and put some warm compresses on it. Let me know in a couple of days how it goes. Well, I did that, and after a couple of days it went away, only to return a couple of months later. So I go back to the doctor. This time the right side of my face is swollen, and he says, that could be Bell's palsy, because I had the drooping on that side as well. He said, so keep with the warm compresses. I'm going to try antiviral again, see what happens. So this is my second round of antiviral medicines. Well, it goes away, and I'd say about a year later, it comes back, and it comes back full force where it didn't stop. Before, it would twitch if I was like talking or just weirdness. It would twitch throughout the day. Well, a year after, it's twitching all the time now. So I go, okay, something is terribly wrong. So I make an appointment. I go back in, and this time my doctor is on vacation. So I saw someone else. This woman this time says to me, something is going on. This is not Bell's palsy. I need you to see a neurologist right now. So I'm going to make you a referral. So a couple of weeks later, I get in to see a neurologist who says, we want to take some MRI. We're going to do one with contrast, one without, and we're going to see what happens. I said, okay. So I go and I have the MRIs done, and I go back in to see him, and he says, I'm going to refer you to a neurosurgeon. And I'm like, okay. So why am I going to a neurosurgeon? And I didn't like this neurologist. This was my first, experience with a neurologist. And I realized that a lot of them just aren't very personable. So I went to another neurologist who looks at my brain scan and once again says, we still can't really tell, what's going on got a couple of things going on in your brain. But we need you to see a neurosurgeon. So I go and I see a neurosurgeon. The neurosurgeon says, you've got a couple of brain lesions, but it seems to me like you've got an artery pressing on a nerve somewhere. That's what could be causing the twitching. You've got some brain lesions, which I'm concerned could be multiple sclerosis, but as of right now, the brain lesions, where they are, does not seem to be related to the facial spasms that you're having. So he recommended surgery. In the meantime, he wanted me to go to see an MS specialist. So, okay. So I go and I see the MS specialist, and she's like, do you lose your balance? I said, no. Do you have any twitching anywhere? No. So the only thing you have is the facial spasms, and you have about 2 lesions in your brain. So I want to send you to have a spinal tap. So I go and I have a spinal tap, and I go back and see her, and she says, yeah, your spinal fluid does show that you've got inflammation or a couple of bands. At this point, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. She said, which is a indicator of MS. But I agree with your neurosurgeon. I would go ahead and have the surgery, regardless of whether it's MS or not, and come back and see me. Maybe repeat the brain scan in a couple of months. So fast forward, I go ahead and I have the brain surgery. He found out that I did have an artery pressing on a nerve. It was in my brainstem. So 26 stitches later, from here to here, I'm recovering. And the facial spasms stopped after the swelling went down. And I thought, what? I have been poked and prodded enough. I'm not going to be poked and prodded anymore. So I just went on with life at that point. Well, about 3 years later, which was about 3 months ago, I woke up one morning and just could not get out of bed. Like, what's going on? You know, I just launched a business. I know I'm tired because I am working full time and I'm up until 1 o'clock at night doing customer work because I had started a credit repair business and everything was going well. I had clients and I'm working my full-time job. I'm good. Well, I guess I wasn't good. So I finally got out of bed and I was just exhausted. I had never felt, you know, as a single mom with 2 children, working a full-time job, launching a business, you know, I'm used to stress. I had never felt this kind of tired before. I finally mustered myself. I couldn't even do breakfast for the kids, and I do breakfast every morning. I'm that mom, you know. So my kids are looking at me like, Mom, no breakfast? I said, you got to do something like oatmeal this morning. There's nothing I can do. So I get up and I finally get the energy to put on my clothes, and I get to work, and I realize that I can't really keep my balance. I'm veering, you know, to the left as I'm walking. So I thought, you know, about 2 weeks ago, I had a sinus infection followed by an ear infection. So I had just finished a round of antibiotics. So I thought, surely that's it. I have that ear infection still. So I make an appointment. I go to the doctor thinking she's going to say, oh, here's another round of antibiotics. I'll take more antibiotics and I'll be fine. Well, I get to the doctor and she looks in my ear and she's like, you know, it's not an ear infection. Your ear infection is gone. Whatever happened with your follow-up for the MRI that you were supposed to have 3 years ago? And I'm like, didn't go. So she says, it's time for you to go. So I set up an appointment and I go to another neurologist because I didn't like any of the ones before. So I went to a new neurologist who set up the MRI. Well, no, as a matter of fact, my neurosurgeon set up the MRI. So about 2 weeks later, they called me and sent me the results and pretty much said there is something going on, but it's nothing related to surgery. So there's nothing he could do, but he did want me to go to a neurologist. So at that point, I found a new neurologist and I went and saw her, and she does the little, you know, test that she does in the office. Pull your hands up. Let's see if I can pull it down. And at that point, when I lifted my left arm, I could not withstand her pressure. My hands would drop. At that point, I realized I had very little function on the left side of my body. At this point, my balance had gotten worse. I couldn't stand on one foot. I couldn't walk with one foot in front of the other. As a matter of fact, I couldn't walk without losing my balance at this point. So that was just to let you know how fast this progressed. In the matter of 3 weeks, I was going down fast. So she says, come on over to the screen, and she compares my last brain scan to my current brain scan and showed me that I had about 4 new lesions in addition to the 2 that I had before. The 2 that I had before, she said, were smaller, but I currently was I had an active lesion. Of course, at this point, I have no idea what she's talking about. And she leans back in her seat, and I'll never forget this. She says, I'm going to diagnose you with multiple sclerosis. Here's this packet. It's full of all different types of medications. You can choose injectables, you can choose pills. So look over it with your family, and you know, here the side effects are listed. Look over it with your family and come back to me in 2 weeks and let me know what medication you want, and we'll start you on the medication at that point. But right now, I want to start you on a 5-day steroid infusion. This woman is looking at me like she just gave me normal news. So I'm sitting there like, wow, you just told me my life was over and you gave me some drugs that's supposed to cure it. I didn't even know what to say. I didn't know what questions to ask. I know this rush of fear just came over me because anyone that knows me knows that I am anti-drugs. If I can cure it naturally, I'm going to cure it naturally. I'm not taking drugs. So then the sidekick, the nurse, comes in and says, it's okay. My mom had multiple sclerosis. And, that was before drugs. Right now, there's some wonderful drugs out there. So just take the drugs and you'll be fine. But if you don't take the drugs, you'll be in a wheelchair in 10 years. My mom, according to the nurse, she says that her mom, from diagnosis to death, was about 20 years. And when she left, she was bedridden. So fear is coming from the doctor's office. Fear is coming from me. Fear is coming from, oh my God, what am I going to do now? So I get home, I'm crying. I cry my whole way home. And at this point, I'm looking at the side effects for the drugs, and none of it I could handle. Being a single parent, I could not afford to do anything that was going to make my situation worse. I spoke to family who said take the drugs, because I came from a family where my grandmother was on 30 plus prescriptions when she died almost a year ago. And I always looked at her medicine jar thing and said, there is no way that this is healthy. You get a medicine and then you get prescribed another prescription to take care of the side effects from the one that was prescribed before. So before you know it, you've got a cabinet full of drugs. That just didn't sit well with me. To take a drug that, when I kept asking, and in the meantime I did go see another neurologist, because I just stopped. I said, this can't be. I need some help understanding. And I went to see another neurologist who explained the medicines to me greatly, who explained the injectables versus the pills, and he made some great points. The injectables have been out for 20-30 years. We pretty much know what the side effects are for those, but the pills have only been out 7 to 10 years. We don't know what the long-term effects of those are. So I did choose one of the injectables. However, my spirit kept saying, Toya, no, there's another way. There's another way. There's got to be another way. And that's what started my journey. I researched, I tried, and I am happy to say that MSSurvivalGuides.com was born. I wanted to take all of the information that I had learned, because it was so much. I had spoken to so many different people who were doing so many different things, and you have the Walls diet, you've got so many different things, the paleo diet, you've got people who cure themselves with essential oils, you've got people who try so many different things, and I was overwhelmed at first. So after a while, I made it my mission to come up with a way to put it in layman's terms, where anybody who got this diagnosis could go to and figure this out easily. I am happy to say that only 3 months after my official diagnosis, I'm back to wearing my heels. I am 15 pounds lighter. I have made so many drastic changes, from cutting the relaxer out of my hair, going natural, to just changing my overall diet. And so I'll be back with other videos to explain what I've done. Also, you can go to my website, www.mssurvivalguides.com for products and other tips. And also, when you go, feel free to leave your comments. Leave your MS journey on the website, because this is a group effort. It's time for us to all get together and fight this thing, because just taking drugs is not the way to go. I pray that my journey could help someone else. Talk to you soon.